Hello, it's David again with Ural Motorcycles. This week I thought we'd take a little break from the motorcycle how-tos and technical information, and I'm going to give you a little tutorial on part numbers and their explanation, and also on how to order, considering the current situation that everybody is finding themselves in. I'm actually here today with Nick Hayes, co-worker, and how long have you been with the company?
Just over 8 years.
Over 8 years. So Nick has progressed from shipping, picking, packing, and shipping in the parts department, all the way up to heading up R&D projects. He's the one responsible for the GPR exhaust, if you're familiar with that. But now Nick finds himself in the parts department once again.
So
what happened?
well, we were at a point where we had to cover some roles. We had some missing people in the parts department, and some changes were made, and we had to survive. And I know how to ship parts, so I just came back down here and got back into it, and I'm shipping parts again, just like my first day of work.
Yeah, so after all these years, he's back picking, packing, and shipping again. So if you've ordered anything recently, most likely he's had his hands on it. In addition to the GPR exhaust, you also headed up the second generation of EFI, right?
Yep.
So he's also responsible for that. Did you want to touch on anything regarding
I wanted to let everybody know, in a few months ago we did a introductory offer for drop shipments where we were offering a discounted shipping rate, and I just wanted to let everybody know we're still doing the drop shipments. It's not discounted rate anymore, but a lot of dealers, if they don't have your part in stock, you can go to that dealer and request them to drop ship the part, and in some cases they can have that part drop shipped directly to your door. There's some restrictions on that. We can't drop ship an engine, a gearbox, or a final drive, and certainly can't drop ship anything for any warranty repair. But any sale that's eligible for drop shipments, many dealers are helping customers get parts that way. So just want to let everybody know that's available.
Yeah, so given the climate that we find ourselves in right now, if you need some basic service parts or anything like that, throttle cables or something, I'll walk you through how to place an order and get that off to your dealer. And just know that that's an option if you can't get to your dealership right now, or they have limited hours or limited staffing. And I want to thank you, Nick. I appreciate your time, and I'll take you upstairs and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so welcome to my little corner office. You might recognize the backdrop from some of our product spotlight videos that we did early on. Very poor quality, but we worked with what we had. That was because I shook hands with Nick. Safety first. So I'm going to quickly go over the Ural part numbers. Anybody familiar with Ural knows that our part numbers are rather long, so I want to tell you what each section means, and then we'll go on to how to place an order and save it or print it or email it to yourself or a dealer. Okay, what's behind a Ural part number? Well, most of our part numbers, as I mentioned earlier, are pretty long, but there is a reason for that. They're all going to start with an IMZ. Now, that stands for Irbit Motorcycle Factory, but in Russia, Z is Zavod, or plant, Irbit Motorcycle Plant, but the direct translation into the United States is Irbit Motorcycle Factory. So IMZ, Irbit Motorcycle Factory. That's going to be followed by a dash, and then an 8. Now the 8 designates the cc's of the motorcycle. 8 actually stands for 500 cc's and above, where say 7 would be like 350 to 500, 6 would be like 250 to 350. But for Ural, it's always going to be designated with a number 8, 500 cc's and above. Then you're going to find a dot or a period, and then you're going to find a 1. The 1 actually indicates the type of motorcycle. So in this case, 1 stands for street motorcycle. There's all the other designations, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., that stand for, I don't know all of them, but utility motorcycle or off-road motorcycle or police motorcycle. There's different categories for each type, but with Ural, it's always going to be IMZ-8.1 and then something. The next in the series of numbers behind the 1 is, for the purposes of the demonstration number I'm going to use, is 0, 3, 7. So this indicates 750 cc sidecar. But other part numbers you may come across in the parts ordering system could be like 103, 107. They don't always have to be 4 numbers. They could be 3 numbers. So 103 is early 650 cc sidecar motorcycle. 107 would indicate two-wheel drive or two-wheel drive components or sub-assemblies. And there's a whole bunch of other ones too that I won't go into here. You'll see them in the catalog. The next set of numbers is typically 5 numbers, and that is going to start with a group number. So in this case, for the example part number I'm using, it's a 05. This part number is the rubber conical boot or protective cap that goes over the splined part of the final drive shaft. So the final drive group is 5. Other group examples would be like 01 would be engine. Let's see what else we got here. 04 gearbox. 05 final drive. The next for this particular part number is 302. So this is a part assembly number, and I must admit I don't quite follow this exactly, because if you look in an expanded view on the parts catalog, you'll have all these parts that are in the same group, 05 final drive, but they may not be sequential. So I'm not exactly sure, but the definition of this number is supposed to indicate the part assembly number. Now, the last part is going to, if there is one, on some of our newer numbers, you're going to find another dash, and then you'll have like an 01. So the 01 would be like an amended version of the original 103, 05, 302 number. If there was an 01, it could be a new supplier, it could be a new manufacturing process, whatever. If it's an 01, that actually indicates that the 01 part is a direct interchange with the original part. Now, it could also have a 10, it could have an 11, and so on. So what that means is, if it was a 05302-10, that means it's a new part, maybe for a newer model, that does not interchange with the old part. For some reason, if it gets amended again to a -11, that means that these two will interchange. But say it gets changed to a 20, that means these will no longer interchange. So now you got all these unique numbers. So to sum up this whole amended explanation, basically, if you have an 01, it interchanges with the old. If you have an amended number that is a 10, it's not interchangeable. If it does interchange, if the new 10 number interchanges, but it gets amended for manufacturing or supplier, it goes to an 11. If it doesn't interchange, it goes to a 20, and so on. This one, if it interchanged, or I'm sorry, that should be 20. The next one, if it interchanges, it goes to a 21. If it doesn't interchange, it goes to a 30, and so on and so forth. So now I'll show you on the computer how to build an order that you can email to yourself or print and take to a dealership or send to your dealer. Let's go to Ural.com. So IMZ-Ural.com. Here on the website, you're going to find all kinds of things. You're going to find the motorcycles, the different models, the different limited editions we've done, a 2020 brochure if you want to see that. All kinds of things you can see related to the models. You can even compare models and look at year model changes year over year. And then here we got different stories from various contributors that you can read. We've got the blog, which is another place to find some of my videos, and also writing from Medina. She does the blog, and it basically gives you updates on what's going on with Ural. And if you're not signed up for the blog, you can actually subscribe to the blog here. Just put in your email address, what you'd like to see, and then subscribe. Go back to Ural Motorcycles. Then under shop, this is our regular shop. So here you're going to find featured products. There's our handlebar clamp, hoodies, knit beanies, things like that. And then you've got accessories. Here's a selection of things that we can sell directly to you. You can place order online, and it will be filled by the parts department and shipped to you directly. So you'll see windscreens and seats and things of that nature. Oil. We obviously put Motul in the motorcycles from the factory now, and we do stock Motul. And then the spray and wash cleaner. I actually use this on all my bikes, even my Harley. I love that stuff. You have a dealer locator, and if you go into here, type in your zip code, say you were in Ohio, find dealer, then you could go directly to their website, and oh look, there's sales at HeindelEngineering.com. You could actually email them the wish list that you're going to create, or I'm going to show you how to create here in a moment. Contact us, basic stuff. You can email us from here, special offers if we've got anything going on for sales, and then events. So if we go to supports, we've got support. We have how-to guides, tech videos, owner's manual. You can do a viewable version of the owner's manual if you lost yours or you don't have it accessible to you at the moment. You can look this up on your phone too. There's sidecar safety training, roadside assistance you could sign up for, and then the parts catalog, which we're going to get to here in a second. But in the how-to guides, these are things, this is actually my normal job where I'm putting stuff together for dealers typically. Some of it crosses over into the retail side. So, if you want to install a GPR exhaust, I've actually put together all the instructions. Like I said, this is more geared towards the dealers. Some of it does cross over. The crossover stuff we do put on the website now. And then we also have tech videos, which are the videos that you've been watching. Those are now on a tab on the website as well. But the big topic of conversation right now is the parts catalog. So you go to the parts catalog, and you can select the region is either Europe or United States. For our purposes here today, we're selecting the United States. And then your model. So you got Gear Up, Retro, CT, Tourist. So depending on what you select here, it determines what you can select for the model year. So say you pick a Gear Up. Gear Ups have been sold for a long time. So you can go all the way back to 2010, all the way up to 2020. But what about if you select a Tourist. Tourist isn't made anymore. Well, let's pick it. So now it gives 2010. That's as far as the book goes back, is 2010, up to 2013. And that's when the Tourist was discontinued. So for what we're going to do now, let's say gear up. And we're going to go, I got 2019. And we're going to select. Now, anytime you make a mistake, you want to go back, you can just click our logo and it takes you right back. So 2020, I think I picked 19, but whatever. So here's the engine, or the groups I was talking about with the part number explanation. So 01 is engine, 03 is clutch, 04 is gearbox. Anyway, so for whatever group you're looking for, say you need, you're going to rebuild your clutch. You can go into clutch. You got the clutch release mechanism, which has an expanded view of all the parts. Maybe you need to replace this O-ring because this plunger is leaking around the O-ring. Well, you can get just that, or you can get the assembly. So number 8 is the O-ring. Number 9 is the clutch release slider, or you can get the assembly as number 10. So say you want to just get that O-ring, you can go down right here and add to wish list. Okay. Now let's go back to categories. You can back out to clutch and order, say you need hard parts, plates or friction discs or something, or you can go all the way back to categories. It's pretty intuitive, pretty easy to use, but let's say you needed that little O-ring and the knee grips on your fuel tank are all deteriorated and you want new ones, or one of them, the adhesiveness fell off because it got saturated with gasoline or something. So you pick fuel tank, there's those little knee grips, number 15. So you got left hand, you got right hand, and say it was the left hand one that fell off. Add to wish list. I think I want to replace both of them at the same time, so add to wish list. And then you go up to your wish list, and the parts you've selected, not everything's going to have a photograph, but most things do. And then from here, you can save to your computer, you can print it, or you can send it to an email. So if I forgot to fill in the email. Send. So I just emailed this to myself. Now if you want to go back home, it takes you to the title page, or you could have clicked the icon here. So hopefully that'll give you some good information that you can communicate with your dealer if you're looking for a particular part, or even the expanded views in the catalog that show you how things go together. There's all kinds of good information in there if you hunt around a little bit. I hope this was informative for most of you. I know it was for one particular gentleman. And we will get back to the technical and bike videos as time goes on. But I really appreciate you guys watching. If you're watching on YouTube, give me a thumbs up and please subscribe. And if you're watching on Facebook, please give us a like. As always, I love the comments. That is actually what spurred this video. So we'll talk to you next time, and thank you for watching.